Good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison, and this is the kitty of the day, Delilah, chocolate bicolor. What is it? Chocolate torty. She's a sweet lady. Now, if you guys like seeing my hot takes Monday through Friday, when we make it, typically around 11 a.m. Eastern, that's the goal. Or if you just want to see the kitties of the day, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications, so it lets you know when we're dropping new videos and when we're going live. We'll see you in the show.
Beautiful thing right now.
Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day. I am alright.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to the white light.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
It's crazy evil.
Good morning, everybody. It is, what is today? It's January 14th. Sorry, I'm late. Hey, we shoot for 11. We don't always make it. That's the goal. My days are all still thrown off. I've got, I had a litter of kitty. What the hell? That was weird. Is everybody still seeing it? It just glitched out on my end. Am I good? That was weird. Am I getting weird internet or something? Everyone let me know if you hear me. My StreamYard just did a weird thing. Well, okay. All right. Well, that completely threw me for a loop. Yeah, sneeze freeze. I'm back. How long was I gone for? That was very weird on my end. This was like a video game glitch. Well, guys, we have. I'm cutting it down to 2 segments today, not counting obviously the usual, the normative segments. We start off typically on the show with some icebreaker content. So 5 seconds, as they're saying there. But yeah, we start out with some icebreaker content, and then we go over to the foreign policy roundup. And then we'll get into the main segments. The main segment today being just 2 of them. It's Nick Shirley time. It's Nick Shirley time. And then ICE's domestic terrorism. The first kind of obviously talking about this new breed of media thing. And there's just some funny clips out there that we have to... I'm tired, so I kind of wanted a segment where we just laugh at some funny clips. But we do make it substantive and an intelligent conversation, I think, is what the plan will be. Then we watch a lot of videos. Today will be a big video day because we'll be doing the same thing with the second segment with ICE's domestic terrorism. Been a lot of videos hitting the net, and so we're gonna kind of go through a lot of them, watch them. Also read a few articles kind of about the ins and outs of the fallout and what's going on in Minneapolis and just kind of in the whole ICE thing at large. So, yeah, that was really weird. That was weird, guys. But, all right, we have plenty to go through. We'll do all that. Let's go ahead and get into some icebreaker content. But, yeah, guys, sorry. I'm a little bit off with when the content drops. I'm tired. I've been having to get up during the night with kitties because we have a new litter. So that's why I wasn't there at Already Dead last night. How did that go? Let me know. Is it good? I haven't watched it yet. I'll have to check it out later. By the way, I do have coming on tonight, looks like we'll have... Ace coming on, and maybe we'll get some other people joining to talk about this ICE stuff as well, a little bit more in kind of a dedicated episode. But let's get into the icebreaker content for now. Here's a video from TMZ of Trump mouthing "fuck you" to a Ford plant worker. I guess he shouts out "pedophile protector." So let's watch this. Let's see if we can hear. I know the audio is it leaves a little bit to be desired, but let's watch this. Yeah, it's pretty distinct. Oh, I think I got a middle finger too. I mean, to be fair, I can't really make out exactly what the guy said, so I'm going to take it on the authority of TMZ that he said pedophile protector. It's hard to make out, and then you see Trump mouth fuck you, and then so he's clearly pretty upset. And as he's going along, here you go, he throws up a. Oh, did we miss it? Did it glitch over it? Come here, play it. Let me see if we can get the middle finger. Get the money shot. There you go. I've seen. It's funny. I've actually seen. I saw today just setting up the stream. I saw some other fucking, boomer con slop shared that as if it was like hardcore of like, which is kind of like on its face, just as a photo. Trump flipping somebody off. It is pretty hard. It is like a pretty sick photo. But given the context, I don't know if I'd want to be sharing that around. It's like, oh, he's so fucking cool. You're like, well, I mean. That was in response to him protecting pedophiles. So not super cool. Moving on, more into kind of the ICE sort of commentary. One thing I've seen a number of people point out that I thought was worthwhile bringing to everyone's attention, a little bit creepy. This was at one of the talks, I guess one of the press conferences with Kristi Noem. You see on her podium, on the very front, it has a slogan. It says, one of yours, all of our, or no, one of ours, all of yours. Obviously, the implication for those who can read between the lines is if you hurt one of us, we will fucking destroy all of you. Apparently, there's some lore behind this saying. I forget what specifically. There's been lots of talks lately of kind of Nazi slogans and this or that. And I don't know. You never know if it's just slop, if it actually is the case, but. Whether this does have some sort of lore, I don't really feel like we need to attach any of that for us to be a little bit concerned of what the fuck kind of mentality is this, regardless if it has some historical meaning. One of ours, all of yours. I mean, it feels like it's pretty much says everything. And I don't know, little bit of an ominous feeling, kind of crazy seeing all the immigration warriors kind of not picking up on this because they're the same motherfuckers who will. We changed the letters to ATF as opposed to ICE, and they immediately go, "Oh yeah, this is ridiculous, right? We can't be having these fucking thugs just stomping through the streets, black bagging people, and terrorizing the community. Wow, that's insane, isn't it?" But ATF makes it okay. Here's an example of exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. This is more. This is on the funny side of things with ICE, because we'll be, I guess, in honor of us covering probably a bunch of videos today. Here's our first video of ICE. This is them going on a potty break. So they're legit all formed up as if it's like, I don't know. I don't even know when you would really see us in a military type thing where they'd go in formation and escort each other, like they're protecting the fucking, as the commander goes taking piss. It seems like pretty cheesy. LARPing bullshit. But let's watch this. It should be fun. This is them going piss. By the way, it's Ford Fisher. He's a good journalist. He's been on he seems to be pretty good on the front of a lot of things, especially stuff that I don't know, that our sort of people tend to like. I know he was forget that. God, what was it name? Was it Krakoa or Kekoa? There was that weird militia story. He was pretty point on that way back in the day. So I've seen pretty much good stuff from him, but I've seen his name tagged with a lot of these different these videos. So he's been a lot of the one going around videoing, just documenting what's going on. So we'll probably be seeing more of his today. But credit to him. Let's go and play this.
Fucking bum! Fucking bum! You're a bitch! If your wife did, I'll probably fuck her too. You guys are all bitches. You can't do shit to me. You can't do a thing to me. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Nobody fucking wants you here. Right, get the fuck out. Walk the fuck out, you stupid bitches. Get the fuck out of here. You dumb. The fuck out of here.
To be clear, that's not Ford Fisher. At least I don't think he is. He's kind of a generic-looking white guy. That does not sound like... I've never heard his voice, but if that's his voice, it does not match up with what I've seen of his face. So I think that's just some other person there. He's just documenting.
You fucking coward. You're a fucking coward, bitch. You're a fucking bitch. Hold on, baby. I'm on the phone with these bitch ass niggas. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll be honest, it's pretty obnoxious. I'm not a fan of nobody here, really. This shit is annoying. But it is funny that they're having to do like fucking super fucking military fucking, oh, we're going to take a piss. Like, I don't know, it just seems dorky to me, but I don't know, whatever. I can not like ICE and think protesting's gay too. I mean, what do I fucking know? But it also seems ridiculous them being kitted out like this on, like, I mean, we're going to watch some more videos today too, but just all of this just seems ridiculous. All right, that's enough. Let's pop to the chat, say our good mornings, and then we'll get into foreign policy. We'll be watching more obnoxious videos like that. Man, it's really hard not to just be like, yup, just unload, officer. I wave her back and forth. I go, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. But yeah, that is obnoxious stuff. I'd be very annoyed if I was trying to go to Target. But at the same time, you know, a lot of the stuff that we're going to go through today, I'd also be, on the flip side, very annoyed if, you know, the things they were the way they were behaving, law enforcement, if me or my family was anywhere in that vicinity. It's not the sort of thing I want to my society. But yeah, let's keep going. Let's put up to the chat, say good mornings to everybody. Good morning, OG Matzo Balls. It's time to warm up those WWF monster truck rally voices, boys and girls. Yeah, I did a Nick Shirley bit, and I almost didn't even do it at the beginning just because I am still a little tired, a little kind of pulling together. This is legit just kind of like, it's the same energy of when your fucking teacher got hammered the night before and now you guys are watching videos, but it works out because there's a bunch of video stuff to be done that's worthwhile covering. So good morning, Mega Nerd. Saying the Zoomer Boomer combo is pretty solid. It might be a current meta. I don't know what you mean by a current meta. Maybe I'm too boomer to understand what you mean by that, but yeah, I'm assuming you're meaning the weird Nick Shirley, like finding an audience in the boomer world or something, because that would be my guess is what you're getting at. Yeah, it is weird. There does seem to be some sort of odd relationship going on there. So they're like the boomers are desperately looking for their avatar in the Zoomer world, and it's just like as if they're gonna like fit in, like, oh, we're gonna get our influencer to convince the Zoomers, and all the Zoomers are like, fuck this faggot. Good morning, Knife Safety Plus. Good morning. Running on Shibun time. My bad. Yes, always we be doing that. Good morning, retardo. Oh, by the way, Friday I also have on the morning show, what is her name? Janine, is it Eunice or something? Man, I should have probably looked up her name again. It's her last name that always gets me. But she's the one who got a quote tweeted by JD Vance over her legal take. She just went on Jon Stewart. Funny enough, that I didn't know about that when I was scheduling her, but she should be coming on the show on Friday as well. But she's like I believe some sort of civil rights lawyer or something, and she's been kind of notable for covering shit on both sides of the aisle too. So, I mean, I've seen her on other things too. My impression's a little bit like a left centrist, but she seems cool. So it should be a fun show. Look forward to that. Good morning, Daz. Good morning. Tony Chin saying good evening, I guess. Yeah, well, it's like I start at noon Eastern, and like I'm assuming, continental U.S., like noonish is, I mean, you're pushing it. I mean, but every other, like the majority of the United States, like every other time zone in the United States is still morning at that point. So I think we're good. So, but all right. Good morning, Fire Pixie. Good morning. Good morning, CSES2P. Good morning. Good morning, Alien Big Cat. Who is Shirley? Where'd he come from? Yeah, that is a good question. They're just breeding them in holes like the Uruk-hai over in Mormon land. Good morning. Who else we got? Good morning, Shadows in the Cornfield. This is the only thing funnier than Trump's populist 10% teaser rate for a year on credit cards is JP Morgan feigning outrage about it. Who else we got? All right. Yes, Daily Show guest. Yeah, it just kind of happened that way. I didn't even, it's just weird how that worked. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into foreign policy. We got the Senate's expected to vote on a Venezuela war powers resolution today. So we'll see where that goes. So they're expected to hold a final vote on the war powers resolution aimed at preventing further U.S. military intervention in Venezuela, according to a report from Fox News, as Trump continues to lash out at Republicans who voted to advance the bill. The bill, Resolution 98, would direct the president to terminate the use of U.S. armed forces for hostilities within or against Venezuela unless a declaration of war or authorization to use military force for such purpose has been enacted. So last week, the state held a vote to bring the bill out of committee, which passed 52-47. 5 Republicans, so we got 5 Republicans are joining Democrats on this. We got Rand Paul, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Todd Young, and Josh Hawley. So, okay. All right. It's got some legs. I know this. If this is one they've kind of pushed out, I think a couple times now in this ongoing kind of teasing of the Venezuelan, adventurism that we're doing over there. And it's kind of gotten dashed down at the last moment every time. But there's been kind of political chicanery going on in the background. And I know one of the times it was like there were these reports where they're talking about like, oh, they just assured everyone behind closed doors, like, oh, you don't even have to do this because we're not going to do anything, yada, yada, yada. So point being is it seems like there might have been some lies that occurred. And so maybe the political apparatus might be a little bit miffed about that and actually do something, especially because it's on such a it's such a tiny fraction of an amount of people they need. They just kind of need a handful of Republicans to go along. And they get what they need there. So, but yeah, after the vote, President Trump took to Truth Social, saying they should never be elected to office again for the Republicans. So on Tuesday, the president again targeted the 5 senators in remarks he delivered at the Detroit Economic Club. He goes, you say, why are you voting against? They can't give you an answer. They're unable to give you an answer. It's like, why are they against the attack on Venezuela? They're against the attack after they found out it was the most successful attack, probably, Trump said. Hawley explained his decision to support the bill last week by referencing Trump's threats to launch another attack on Venezuela if the country's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, doesn't do his bidding. So that wasn't true. With regard to Venezuela, my read on the Constitution is that if the president feels the need to put boots on the ground there in the future, Congress would need to vote on it. That's why I voted yes on this morning's Senate resolution. Collins and Young explained their vote by pointing to Trump's suggestion that he might send troops to Venezuela. So they're same thing with them, boots on the ground. Those comments is what really got them going. Paul and Murkowski were the only Republicans to support the bill back in November. Paul was a co-sponsor and has been consistent in the opposition. We know that. But now the War Powers Resolution doesn't have a chance of passing the Senate or the House without a veto-proof majority, but its passage could still affect the Trump administration's actions. For example, back in 2019, when Congress passed a War Powers Resolution aimed at ending U.S. support for Saudi Arabia's brutal war in Yemen, Trump vetoed the bill, but he also ended the U.S.'s refueling of Saudi jets that were bombing the country. Yeah, at the end of the day, he can always end up just vetoing any of this stuff anyways, so these really are just kind of, rap battles of strongly worded letters, essentially. Like, oh no. So maybe if they word it strongly enough, something will happen. I mean, if you want to, I guess you can bug your politician or whatever. Say, pass this thingamabob. Look into what state you're in or whatever, who your guy is. Particularly, especially the Republicans. Who knows? Maybe you can get some of them to move on it. But looks like, on the Iranian front, it's not looking so great. Through Social, saying Iranian patriots keep protesting, take over your institutions, save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I have canceled all meetings with Iranian officials till the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. MIGA, which ironically could be either Iran or Israel there. The I is left up to your interpretation. It says President Donald J. Trump. We also got Nick Fuentes chiming in here. His take says Zionist-controlled CBS News is reporting that up to 20,000 protesters have been killed by the Iranian government. Totally fabricated, embellished number. Where have we seen that before? This is all part of Israel's propaganda campaign to drag America into a war with Iran, and he is very correct on that. Let's dig a little bit more into this ordeal over at antiwar.com with this piece from Dave DeCamp. It says President Trump on Tuesday called for the protests in Iran to continue and said help is on its way. We just read that tweet, or truth. We don't need to say it again. The president said he cut off contact with Iranian officials. A comment that came after he suggested he was open to diplomacy with Tehran. So that's an interesting detail in that tweet, in that little truth itself. It says, I've canceled all meetings with Iranian officials, which they were just talking about, doing some sort of peace talks, because it's almost all these reports coming in that, hostilities are going to pick back up. And then there are all these reports that, J.D. Vance is working hard behind the scenes, which I don't even necessarily believe this. If anything, I think this is likely probably the Cope story they're feeding in the behind the scenes. But whatever, the Cope story is that supposedly J.D. Vance behind the scenes is working, for diplomacy. It sounds to me like that way you have kind of an out whenever this goes tits up and they try to run Vance later, but whatever. Kind of plausible deniability. But anyway, supposedly he's working, for diplomacy behind the scenes, and now we have this going on. He's going, just kidding, we're not going to have any meetings. So any of these supposed nuclear talks and stuff that they were kind of pushing towards having, maybe preventing some sort of hostilities in the future, is not looking too good. Now, MIGA refers to Make Iran Great Again, a slogan Trump used during the 12-day U.S.-Israeli war against Iran back in June 2025 when he floated the idea of regime change in the country. He also recently posed with a Make Iran Great Again hat alongside Lindsey Graham, who has said the president is ready to kill Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Larijani, the secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, responded to Trump's post saying the names of the main killers of the people of Iran were the U.S. president and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Also on Tuesday, the IRGC claimed, that's Iran's military, claimed it disrupted Israeli-linked terror teams and seized U.S.-made weapons. Iranian officials have warned the U.S. would face a severe response to any attack. Come and see what will happen to American ships and military bases in the region, the Speaker of Iran's parliament, Mohammad Bakr Kalibaf, said at a pro-government rally over the weekend. Come and burn in the fire of the Iranian nation so severely that it becomes a lasting lesson in history for all oppressive U.S. rulers. Come and find out what will happen to you and to the region, he added. Which I do have to add, they're not fucking around. Maybe they are fucking around, but they're not fucking around in the sense of what they can do. Last time during this whole 12-day war nonsense, and I think even back with we killed their general a while back, was it Qatar both times? No, I think the one other time was somewhere else. But anyways, we had the latest, return, I believe, fire to some bullshit, and maybe I'm mixing up the two. But anyways, they had the while back where, they reached out and touched some of our stuff over in Qatar, I believe. And, we got the warning, everything. And even then, I think they had still one of the missiles get through and actually destroy something. So, and that was them kind of play fighting, and still one of their missiles came through. So, yeah, only imagine what they can do. I also just saw shortly before we started, there are actually reports of... they're starting to clear out Qatar. So I don't know. Obviously, that's a pretty breaking stuff. So that could end up being bullshit. But, it's not that crazy that they would. If they are picking up tensions with Iran, Iran is an enemy that actually can reach out and touch people, reach out and touch us all over that region. So, yeah, we get into weird territory at that point in time. So wouldn't recommend it, but it looks like that's where we're going. And all over some supposed protests. There are even claims of hanging occurring, and that's one of the things that incensed them, that they're going to hang these supposed protesters, to which I will say I wouldn't be least surprised if they are killing protesters over there and stuff, but I definitely, like Fuentes said a bit ago, I don't necessarily buy a 20,000 figure. That sounds absolutely insane. And you also have to keep this in the context of anyone who's been paying attention, kind of especially to the minutia out there, there were all sorts of threats shortly before these protests and at the time, and hints of wink wink, Mossad will be in the crowd and stuff like that. Who was it? Was it Pompeo? Pompeo, I think, put out something like that. It was pretty crazy. And I want to say it was a picture with walking with Netanyahu or something. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, it was there's basically been multiple high level officials basically say the quiet part out loud while kind of not saying the quiet part out loud, wink, 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 and basically be yeah, we're up in this bitch, we're in these protests, we're in these streets. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if there's some agitation occurring there. But despite all that, the irony is so rich that we're concerned about killing protesters and they're hanging them, that the Knesset advanced a bill mandating death by hanging for Palestinian prisoners. So that's wonderful. Yeah. So they advanced a bill that would introduce executions by hanging for Palestinians convicted under military law. According to a report by Haaretz, the report detailed the proposal, internal objections following its approval in a first Knesset reading in November. It was formerly titled the death penalty for terrorists. It was initiated by Limon Sanhar Malek of the Atza Yehudit party and approved by a vote of 39-16. It would allow Israeli military courts to impose death sentences without a prosecutor's request and by a simple majority rather than unanimous verdicts. Under the proposal, executions would be carried out by hanging and completed within 90 days of a final ruling following a judge-signed order and under the supervision of the Israel Prison Service. A designated prison officer would perform the execution appointed directly by the Prison Service Commissioner. The bill mandates near total isolation for prisoners sentenced to death, with visits restricted to authorized personnel and legal consultations limited to visual contact via video calls only, with no possibility of sentence reduction once imposed. Prison officers in the state would be granted full civil and criminal immunity for carrying out executions. While execution details would be published by the Prison Service website, the Freedom of Information law would not apply, and those involved would remain anonymous. And then Ben Gvir celebrated the vote by handing out sweets and wearing a gold noose pin. So great stuff, wonderful stuff. And also, keep in mind, Israel, they've killed over 100 people since this ceasefire. And when I say people, I mean kids. I actually misspoke. 100 children since the ceasefire, specifically children. At least 60 boys and 40 girls before everyone goes, oh, these were, young, AK carrying, this is a 12-year-old with an AK-47. Well, unless you think they're also doing the girls, I guess. But the 60-40 number there makes it look like, no, these are just straight up children getting murdered. So that's just wonderful. So this is who we're going to go to war. Probably one of the great wars, but possibly shit could get really out of control. All for this country. This country, wonderful. All right, let's roll the chat. Say some more good mornings, all that good stuff, and then we'll get into Nick Shirley. All right, let's check in with you guys. Here we go. Tony Chin says Polymarket IDF insider made large bet on Israeli strike on Iran before January 1st. Yeah, I keep hearing all these Polymarket things. They seem to be pretty on the money. So, which is interesting for a lot of different ways. Good morning, Gottis. Good morning. Shadows in the Cornfield says the left-wing media sure likes to try and shame presidents into right-wing wars. Yeah, it's almost like that whole left-right thing is just gay nonsense. Good morning, Tilla Spook. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Paintball guns with ISIS, Tilla. Yes, they were rolling around with paintball guns. Although they're also carrying too, so they're carrying around both. Good morning, Jared, or good morning, Mustache. Good morning. Yeah. I see Alien Big Cat said he got censored for saying homo. I guess the YouTube chat. Just a reminder, YouTube is big gay, so go check out Rumble. You can say whatever you want over there. For the most, I think they do have some sort of minor censoring, but you got to go pretty hard. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the Nick Shirley nonsense. Starting off with just a nice little funny here. Let's just look at the genius the best journalist in the world or whatever. Wasn't it JD Vance who said that? I think it was JD Vance. Tell me in the chat. Just sound off. I'm sure one of you guys know. I think it was some big person like JD Vance or somebody said like, oh, this is one of the best journalists of our time or something. Well, listen to this. Tell me what you think.
Who do you think are the three most benevolent billionaires?
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
Just well-intentioned, positive billionaires who you think are creating, net positive societal progress.
Trump, our president. I think he.
Who do you think are
relevant? Okay, who knows? Maybe he understood. He actually did know what benevolent means. Benevolent means. Or maybe it was just some weird moment. But I don't know. Just this should color the context of the some of the other stuff we see from him. Here he is. By the way, this is him on with Andrew Callahan, who's a person interviewing him. Which we're getting the clips from. I believe it's called like Channel 5 or something is the name of their show. But here's another clip of him shaming Andrew for apparently, I guess he didn't speak out, he didn't condemn mean words against Charlie Kirk or the killing of Charlie or something vague like that, trying to go back to the 2016 playbook of political shaming. Oh no, you didn't say this thing, but here's Nick Shirley taking a shot at it.
Asking how do you gain credibility and trust? Well, you say a fact for a fact.
And the fact is that the first thing I think of when I think
And the
of
fact
Somalia
is, what are
is
Somalians
Captain
known
Phillips.
for? Pirating.
Well, that's in Somalia. There's no pirates in America.
Who's stealing all the money in
It's not
Minnesota?
the same as a pirate.
That is piracy. So how do you gain more trust? Well, don't be afraid to say a fact or an opinion.
Even
when
if
you
I know that I'm dumb.
Yes. By not saying anything about the death of Charlie Kirk as well, I thought that was pretty messed up. In a way, he's somebody just like me and you who was making videos, putting it on the internet, and then people literally killed him. I thought that was kind of messed up of you to not publicly denounce what happened to Charlie Kirk.
I did.
I never saw anything on Instagram.
What am I supposed to say?
You never shared anything.
I interviewed the guy who was debating him while it happened. And I mentioned a bunch of times that it was horrible and it represented like one of the worst pivots in American politics ever.
And I didn't even watch the interview because I didn't want to watch that.
Well, you should watch it.
I don't want to.
Why? It's historically relevant.
It is historically relevant. I did lose respect for you when it felt like you went silent.
Well, you should watch the video because I say some stuff in it.
Okay, cool.
Deep.
God, look at these fucking eyes. Look at these dead, retarded eyes. Which, to be fair, this guy's like a kid, right? I mean, how old is Nick Shirley? Let's look up. I wonder if Google will tell me. Let's see how old Nick Shirley is, because I know to give him some. Okay, he's born in 2002. What is it? 20? Oh, he's 24. Fuck out of here. He shouldn't be this retarded. Holy shit. I was thinking maybe it was like an 18, 19. He's 24. He does not have 23, 24. I don't know. He's just got dumb. He's just got those retard eyes. Nothing going on down here. Just this is what they say. This is the words I be saying, and then I say them. Yeah, nothing really to say here. He completely made himself look like an idiot. Apparently, I guess Callahan, which I'm not some white knight from Callahan. I don't know. I mean, he's got some. I've watched some of his stuff. It's been kind of interesting, but I really don't even know anything about his politics. But pretty retarded to be like, oh, you didn't even You didn't even say enough nice things about Charlie Kirk. How fucking dare you? And you're like, yeah, dude, I said all sorts of things that are like, yeah, you shouldn't be like killing people and stuff. That's like not cool. And like I did a whole episode with, it just clearly shows that like for him to be lobbing that stuff out, you would think you'd have the tiniest bit of like some sort of ace in the hole or have done some sort of research. But this shows that like he didn't even like look through this guy's YouTube feed or anything before making this accusation, which is wild. But all right, whatever. Let's move on to the next Nick Shirley clip. This is whether this was a distraction tactic. So let's watch this.
About if you look at Google Trends specifically, like the phrase Somalia fraud was borderline non-existent, it just so happens to really kick up through your piece on December 16th.
Yeah.
Which is the exact same day that the Trump administration and Kash Patel released the redacted Epstein files list that by all people was seen as like a disaster with hundreds of pages of blacked out stuff. Was there a part of you that was curious if maybe there was people in the GOP who chose to signal boost your piece as wide and far as possible in a way to distract and move the goalpost away from that?
I don't know. Like if that was their initiative, it probably worked pretty well. But I just posted my YouTube video, and that's the beautiful thing about the internet. You just post and see what happens.
That's the beautiful thing about the internet. Just like I guess I should make fun because I do have like obviously I feel like I've gotten better over the years because I do sort of public speaking, but especially if I'm tired or if I'm the rare times I've drank on stream, my lisp starts to come out a little bit. I get a little bit like kind of mumbly. But man, I would hope. But I mean, you hear some people, they sound stupid, but then you hear them talking like, oh, okay, that's just the way they talk, whatever. They actually are pretty intelligent, but like, no, he just sounds stupid. And it seems like I haven't watched a ton of his stuff. Anything I've seen so far, I've been unimpressed. But the more I see, the more convinced I am that no, he's also, not only does he sound stupid, but he is stupid. I think it's actually kind of almost a beautiful superpower when you can sound stupid but not be stupid. At least that's how I cope for my existence. So, but yeah, he does not have that superpower like I do. He is just straight retarded. But let's keep going.
Every week I've been uploading video. To me, that was just gonna be like another YouTube upload. Like I didn't know that it was gonna be the most viewed video ever on X. You're trying to say that it was some coordinated attack to get people's eyes away from Epstein, but the majority of the traffic, it has over 600,000. I think it has over 600.
Right, here we go. Here's another where he's fucking retarded. Because the accusation is that you got signal boosted. And he goes, actually, I'll look at go and finish it, I guess.
1,000 likes. So it wasn't just Elon Musk who was sharing the video. It was everyday Americans who were showing that video because they're sick.
Okay. So, yeah. So his reasoning is, because people liked it, therefore, yada yada. Therefore, I don't know. He's like, the accusation here is like, do you think there's distraction? Do you think there was people tried to signal boost you or whatever? And he goes, well, I just uploaded it, and that's the beautiful thing about it is that there's all these likes, and I mean that's a person, and it's like, yeah, but none of that addresses the actual accusation, like. It's almost like you're trying to be like, well, how can you fake these people hitting the like button? And you're like, for one, you can. I mean, actually, I don't know enough about like botting your shit. I don't know how it works with likes. I mean, I feel like I've gotten fairly decent at looking at a channel and being like, something feels off about the metrics, but I don't really know enough about how the sauce is made to like what this, like, if there is certain like likes or views that are more distorted than others. But I don't really see any reason why the like function couldn't also be a distorted thing. But yeah, now do I think there's probably a level of genuineness? Now here's how it works. It's like when there's a signal boost, it's increasing the signal. And so it's making it so that like, yes, that doesn't mean he didn't actually get, that the amount of people that liked it or viewed it or whatever. I mean, maybe there's some level of lying in there, but it's the idea of that, like, how did that happen? Was that being placed in everyone's feed organically? Was that strictly due to others' likes and retweets? And even if that is the case, who was liking and retweeting it? Are we talking about a cabal of like Ackmans and Elon Musks and stuff like this that are going, wow, and like now making this a way bigger thing than it is? That's what we're talking about, and I think I'm not alone in thinking. I don't know. There's a pretty strong case to say the NIIICK SHIIIRLEY, like there is some reason why my mind went to this like WWE type thing, because it is like a show. It's like there's some truth to it. People are getting a little bit hurt, but at the end of the day, we all shake hands and we'll go home and it was all just a show, and nothing fucking happens. And it's a distraction from, I don't know, the real ills in your life. That's what this feels like. All right, moving on. We also, kind of on the I guess kind of talking about the Nick Shirleys of the world. These perhaps paid, perhaps not, slopfluencers out here. Apparently, ICE is now out here spending $8 million. In their budget for pro-ICE influencers. So it says, according to an internal document obtained by the Washington Post, Immigration and Customs Enforcement is carving out $8 million from its $100 million one-year wartime recruitment strategy on deals from pro-ICE influencers. Now, bear in mind, keep in mind when you hear about the budget, this is all coming out of your paycheck. And even if it doesn't come out of your paycheck, it's coming out of your future purchasing power. So it is being stolen from you one way or another. So you are being stolen from to be propagandized to tell you that this ICE stuff is cool. Which, I mean, a lot of my audience may even agree with that and be like, this stuff is great. I mean, maybe you'll have a different opinion after this next segment. But either way, even if that is the case, it's kind of something feels a little gross about the fact that you're being stolen from to be told that this is so great. I mean, especially if it's something you already agree with. Like, shouldn't you just be able to make the arguments and just be like, why are you additionally stealing more? We should be trying to keep the theft to a minimum or something. The document calls for spending at least $8 million on deals with online influencers whose followers are largely Gen Z and millennials who were in the military families, fitness, and tactical lifestyle enthusiast communities. Guys, fucking hit me up. Let's get that 7,000, baby. Let's get it going. Did I also tell you Israel has a right to defend itself? Come on. I like working out. I'm a veteran. I can go hoorah, hoorah. Come on. I'll crank up the slop. Come on. Give me some money. I don't know. I don't think I could do it seriously. I mean, I might, maybe don't get me wrong. My wife would want me to sell out, but I don't think I could do it. Officials will focus on former agents, veterans, and pro-ICE creators who will be expected to host live streams, attend events, and post short and long-form videos and other content to Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, X, and YouTube. Blogs, Substack, newsletters, and thread accounts would also be targeted for more niche communities per the docket. You guys watch, like 2 months, you're going to be seeing me with a fucking GoPro next to some fucking like ICE people like, oh, we're getting these goddamn Mexicans. Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Get him. Oh, he just speared him. Making it sound too cool. The objective, according to the document, is to build trust through authentic peer-to-peer messaging and to normalize and humanize careers at ICE through storytelling and lived experiences. The document says it expects that more than 5,000 applicants will come through the influencer program, costing ICE about $1,500 per application. So great. And who are these sort of ICE influencers? Well, we got these people like Nick Sorter, I've seen him enter the news a lot. Well, who are these people? These dough-faced little fucks. Let's watch this video first off. Here's a video, I guess, because I saw like a counter video of this too, where like, oh, he got something happened to him. I don't fucking know, but apparently here he is hitting a woman. But I don't know the truth of it. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen like both sides of this narrative or whatever, particularly with the Sorters and other people like this. I don't know, these weird, whatever the fuck this new sort of influencer creation is, but let's watch this. Now, 1 second, my audio's out. Here we go. All right, let's try this again. Final warning. Okay, so it's this chick they're saying supposedly hit. Okay, to be fine. Okay, that's a little silly. Alright, trying to say that's like he hit her. I mean, like, yeah, he probably should have kept his hands to himself, but like, she is like legitimately like intentionally blocking him. So I don't know. So yeah, let's try this again. It says Nick Sorter hits a woman. Like, far be it for me to come to his defense, but like, okay, she's holding up some sort of weird thing blocking his view. And he grabbed it and then threw it down, which, like, I don't know, whatever. Maybe that's debatable, but I could totally sympathize. I mean, like, what the fuck? Let's see if there's more to this. Oh, she did give him a little push there. All right, is everyone jumping on for him?
Hey, they love hitting women.
No, that's stupid.
They love hitting women.
All right, that's dumb.
Okay, that's what these.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, she did hit him. I mean, it's still a little gay. Like, I don't know. I mean, technically, legally speaking, like, I think that should be fine what he just did. But like, it is a little gay. But whatever. I mean, she's being kind of an obnoxious bitch. I mean, you probably shouldn't be putting hands on Mima or whatever that is. All right, whatever. And then you get pepper sprayed, some shit like that. Either way, we're getting all these like these ICE influencer shit. Particularly Nick Sorter is probably the worst of them. But here's Jacqueline Sweet saying, as Nick Sorter continues to insert himself in the news cycle about why he's wanted about the state of Kentucky, or read about why he's wanted by the state of Kentucky for violating probation in a case where a woman said he stole her dog, then physically attacked her after she rebuffed his sexual advances. So, yeah, let's check this out. This guy also got invited to the White House before, so they just, I don't know, who are these sort of fucking weirdos? I mean, he's not particularly, I don't really feel like he does particularly great, work. I've never seen anything of his that I'm like, wow, amazing journalism. I also like there's nothing about him that's like charismatic, and he literally just kind of has this is actually a good photo of him right here. If you guys are seeing, oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing right now. Give me a second. Let me move this over. So here you go. Now you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. But this is an old photo of him, actually. This is from 6 years ago. He's actually gotten kind of fat and doughy and kind of almost looks a little downsy now. But even back then, even at his peak, not particularly an attractive guy. I mean, no homo, but like he's not charismatic. I mean, he doesn't really do good journalism that I've seen. So what the fuck? Who is this guy? Why is he always in my feed? I mean, it seems to be because he's always pushing the topics that I think he's actually, was it him? Was it Benny Johnson and him that also recently got paid to go on some fucking God, they went to not get paid. They got some like weird fighter jet things or I don't know, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm speaking I'm just recalling now. I'm like, shit, I wish I had found that other tab because I meant to have that ready for this segment because I want to cover it. Because there's also this other story going on right now that I totally blanked on, where apparently like just kind of this money scheme for all these right-wing influencers. It's a similar but separate thing, I think. But anyways. In that one, yeah. Anyways, so back to this one. We're kind of looking into this Nick Sorter guy is. Maybe I'm gonna have to find that one that I'm thinking of now. Maybe cover in a later one because a lot of these right wing people have been outed for kind of being bought and paid for, you know, in all sorts of different ways. Not necessarily just politically, but I'll have to hunt that one down later. But I think he's guilty of some shit in there too, if I recall correctly. But anyways, this is from Jacqueline Sweet. She says, I obtained the arrest records and victim statement in a 2020 incident involving Nick Sorter, the MAGA influencer who made headlines for being arrested in Portland last month and garnering the support of Trump and Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon as a villain of what the Department of Homeland Security later claimed were Antifa terrorists. Sorter was invited to a White House roundtable event soon after his arrest with 10 other conservative influencers the White House called independent journalists. This is like, I think Posa was there and stuff too. So it's those kind of fucking losers. The ones that you go, a journalist? Pff, okay. Not that I'm necessarily someone who looks on journalists with in some sort of like high regard or anything. But yeah, these are just slop journalists. Sitting with Trump, Noam, Bondi, and Patel. The epidemic of left-wing violence and Antifa-inspired terror has been escalating for nearly a decade, Trump said at the event. But before Sorter's star turn as a MAGA influencer, Trump himself reportedly texted him a message of support after his arrest in Portland. Sorter was himself accused of a violent crime in his home state of Kentucky, and the state of Kentucky has an active warrant for his arrest for violating probation in that case. The warrant remains active. The Fayette County Sheriff's Process Division confirmed to Disaster Girl this week, which Disaster Girl, I believe, is Jacqueline. Sorter, 27, was arrested and charged with felony burglary in 2021, later pleading guilty and to a reduced misdemeanor charge. So this was 5 years ago. I mean, whatever, I guess, felony burglary, wild. The details of the 2020 arrest were first reported by the Lexington Herald Leader this week, but the full details of the 2020 case involving a female acquaintance and her statement about how the incident affected her have not yet been reported. According to the arrest and court records I obtained via public records request, the victim, who I shall not name, said her experience with Sorter fundamentally changed her life in a statement to the judge. Here we go, in quotes. I choose to see the best in everyone. The night of November 19th, 2020 has forced me to lose trust in that belief and understanding. The 26-year-old woman wrote in an October 2021 letter, the evolution of my perspective since that night is characterized by the loss of faith in humanity and the paranoia of my surroundings and strangers alike. She described moving back home to another state to live with her parents out of fear, becoming homebound, enduring panic attacks, and starting anti-anxiety medication after the incident. I cannot change the fact that in reality, assault and burglary of women by men that they know and think they can trust is more common of an occurrence than fathomable. But I can try my hardest to make sure that no other outgoing, strong, and kind woman is hurt and changed in the ways I have been by his doing. I pray to God this never happens to other women at the hands of Nicholas Sorter. All right. Let me see. Now, Sorter was initially charged with secondary burglary, and he ultimately took a plea, pleading guilty to criminal mischief. The conditions of his 2-year probation, according to the final judgment, were maintain good behavior, refrain from violating the law in any respect, maintain gainful employment of at least 40 hours per week, undergo drug and alcohol testing and other requirements. Only 6 months later, however, Sorter was arrested and charged with menacing a police officer, according to the court records, 2 months after that, he was arrested and charged with driving under the influence. By June 2023, Sorter was officially in violation of his parole for failure to report to probation and parole and absconding, according to court records. A Kentucky state judge issued a warrant for his arrest on June 23, 2023 that remains active. The Lexington Police Department citation report from the 2020 arrest contains disturbing allegations by the victim. The victim, who says she knew Sorter before the incident, told police he stole her dog from her apartment before attempting to sexually advance on her and becoming violent. She stated she was at a friend's house and had received 27 missed phone calls and multiple harassing text messages from the suspect. Victim stated she finally answered the phone and the suspect told her that he had her dog and was heading over to pick her up from the friend's house. The victim stated the suspect had unlawfully entered her dwelling and unlawfully took possession of her property, the dog, with an apartment key that was hidden on top of the outside hallway porch light. The victim then stated she was picked up by the suspect and they went back to her house. Now, I will say that does make it a little less weird because, I mean, we don't know the relationship here. I mean, it's still weird. I mean, I struggle to think of a situation where that wouldn't be weird to take my dog, but like he knew where the key was, so they're likely this person that they're that familiar with. I mean, maybe we could contrive a reason why he would think like, oh, we're going to grab the dog and we're going to go do something or whatever. I don't know. Still seems weird and menacing, especially given what supposedly follows up here. So the victim then stated she was picked up by the suspect and they went back to her house. Once at her apartment, the victim stated the suspect attempted to sexually advance on her verbally, which, you know, nothing wrong with trying to hit on a broad, you know. So the victim went on to tell police that after asking Sorter to leave, he jammed his foot into her door so she couldn't close it and force his way back inside. Okay, now that's weird. Now we're in not good territory. Victim advised the suspect grabbed her by her hair and slapped her. Sorter denied the allegations at the time, the citation said. He did not reply to email the questions. So after Sorter's arrest in Portland this year for disorderly conduct, he said Bondi called him to tell him the Justice Department would be opening a civil rights investigation into the Portland Police Bureau led by Dillon. Sorter was arrested during a melee outside the ICE building during ongoing anti-ICE protests that also attached Sorter and other pro-Trump influencers there to document what Sorter called the hellhole of Portland. The prosecutors decided not to charge Sorter after reviewing evidence, they said. Interesting stuff. I don't know, looks like he's got a little bit of a pass. That's kind of a weird story. Although as we read it through, maybe it's not as crazy. I mean, obviously, like, assuming she's telling the truth entirely, it's not good, and there's not even a good faith way. But, like, I know the dog thing, you know, flirting. I mean, it sounds like somebody had some sort of perhaps romantic-ish or maybe prospective romantic relationship with or something. Obviously, if, you know, not getting out and then grabbing the hair, now that is in, like, if she is telling the truth, that's just straight up not good. But yeah, apparently still a warrant out for his arrest, so that's great. What else do we got here? And then now if you thought, you know, we got all these slop influencers out there, but if you thought like, well, okay, we got this new media landscape, these guys are clearly going to die out, so it's going to be okay. We're going to have better, you know, younger commentators, you know, coming to the fore to make to rectify this. Well, you thought wrong. Here's Nick Fuentes going, as a lot of people are pointing out, a little bit full neocon. Although I don't think it's necessarily a surprise for anyone who's followed along with his politics. But I guess just a little bit of a, just here you go for anyone who thought that, you know, I don't know, that you know, here they are, here he is saying what he believes, and you know, I'm not really shitting him on it for it. But if you expected something better from this new generation, you thought wrong.
It's a movement for right-wing Americans that want America to have primacy over the entire planet, as much power, as much abundance, as many resources as possible. So if you're coming around with this nonsense about they stole the oil, that's not moral. They intervened in another country who violated their sovereignty. I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. We do it all the time, and we've done it for centuries. It's called manifest destiny. It's called the Mexican-American War, the Spanish-American War, the Bay of Pigs. We do it all the time. This is our world, and at the minimum, this is our half. This is our half of the world for us to have uncontested, undisputed dominance, military, commercial, naval, every way, shape, and form. And we will take what we are entitled to. We will take what makes us safer, richer, more prosperous. We will take what we want. Nobody can stop us. And we'll do it again. And I hope we do. And I hope we do it in Greenland. And I hope we do it in Panama. And I hope we do it in Cuba. I hope we do it everywhere where it makes sense for us. You got a problem with that? I don't know. Go back to fucking Pakistan. Go back to some other country and complain about it on the internet. Invented by America. So anyway, I don't know if I want to hear the comments. Botted the dislikes on Telegram award. Pakistanis botted the dislikes on Telegram. It means nothing. We could kidnap your leader too, if it was necessary. Anyway, so, okay, we're already getting started. Well, look, I've been waiting for this. I've been looking forward to this. So,
all right, there you go. There's Nick laying it out, which he's kind of made not even really been hiding it. He's just he's this weird, almost like third position. I know everyone kind of simplifies anything down to neocons, and in a certain colloquial sort of way, I do as well quite often. So I know I led this off, although he went full neocon. Obviously, it's not technically correct. He's of a different breed, not necessarily exactly a neocon. His is more. In his eyes, at least, looking at I guess American objectives, it's a different thing. It's instead of this it's more about imperialism, taking what you want. The kind of the, that's our anything money wise, resources that works out to our advantage. Instead of this this other Zionist project. So really, I mean, there was a interview of him a while ago where a lot of people. Freaked out where he was going on about he kind of also was respecting the the Jew, essentially the idea of how they're able to advocate for their identity group, and he kind of makes the same case of well, that's exactly what I want, and to some degree I can sympathize with that because it's the idea of that hey, if we're going to identity group mentality, then I'm going to advocate for my identity. Obviously, if it came down to it, I'm advocating for people like me. But I do think that's also it's kind of a race to the bottom. It's a little bit dumb. That's what got us here in the first place. This expansionist, it's just not going to work. I mean, so there are obviously a lot of people have immediately gone to what I've seen, mauling about the morality take and kind of this moral, which I will say it is bizarre to me, someone who prides himself in religiosity and kind of I don't know, morality. I would assume that would be somewhat connected to that. Generally speaking, I don't really know how you would be able to. I mean, I don't know if you just straight up said in there too, hey, we'll kill you. This there is collateral. Even if you somehow magically find a way to believe that every foreign military officer or police officer or whatever, if they're somehow green light, there obviously is going to be collateral. So it's just immoral on its face. But I also think it's yes, there is this certain level. It's a high time preference shit. Sure, I guess in the great game, the powers, if these powers go around and, I steal this resource, I steal that, to some degree, there is probably a little bit of a trickle down to the people. This is probably, part of why we've been able to maintain a certain level of living over here in the United States. But it's also a game of cards, and the higher you build up that castle, the more it's going to fall. So, it's clearly it's trying to rectify. You're not going to be able to do this. This, it just is not. Eventually, something collapses. You find your Vietnam. Not even think about. Put it in. Let's put it in terms of COVID. That makes it easy. We printed 40% of. At least that's a stat. I don't even know if it's true anymore. 40% of the dollars were printed in 2020 or something. So that's there go a fucking 40% reduction in printing power. How much has been done for this all this foreign expansion, all this stuff? And it's funny, as I've pointed out before, a lot of these same people will talk about wanting to have bring jobs back home, yada yada, but then we need to outsource the power of the government to be able to enable corporations to be able to do worldwide commerce. How does that make sense? These are, to me, conflicting ideas. So I think it's just one of these things that even like on a big brain level, if you start to analyze this stuff, you go, oh, like, yeah, sure, maybe you can ride high for another 50 years, maybe, but at some point the floor is going to fall out from under you. So I kind of get where he's coming from in a sense, but it's a kind of a simplistic. But I don't know. A lot of people are saying he got the call, but to be fair, I think he's kind of been pretty open about having this sort of perspective. But everyone just kind of assumed that wasn't the case. And more in a similar vein, here's Nick saying, people have been posting nonstop AI-translated Hitler speeches for the past 2 years are now crying because the U.S. invaded a neighboring country and killed a left-wing protester, giving mixed signals. Now, I will say there's a little bit of a rich irony in there, but I think most people it's because they may just have had fun with the Hitler thing and stuff because we don't care about that anymore. I don't give a shit about that. I love joking about Hitler stuff. Just it's fun. It's funny. Like I'm not offended by it. Like, but that doesn't mean. If anything, it's more of a symptom of this being like one of the foundational myths of the modern establishment. They're like, so no, I'm not buying your silly thing. I'm not gonna go when you go, oh my God, did you say 5,999,999? Oh my, I'm not gonna reflexively go with you. Like I don't care. I don't care because it does like it's not relevant. It's just not. It's not relevant. I mean, maybe in some sort of academic sense, but this idea that you're like, oh no, like if I said Genghis Khan was kind of fucking cool, well, everyone would get what I mean. You're like, I can totally get what you mean by he's kind of fucking cool, like a Mad Max, like ancient sort of way, kind of cool. Obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean that I actually literally advocate those things. I can still think they're cool. I can still think these are a great man in like the more of like the objective sense, not like a morality type sense. But, here's more from Nick, kind of, I guess, finishing off this kind of, I don't know what's going on here. Here's him on Epstein stuff. This one's a little weird to me, a little much.
This whole pedo thing, it's like, really pedophilia. I don't want to be the one that has to say it, but I guess I'm being forced to say it. It's not really pedophilia, okay? They weren't trafficking 5-year-olds. It was like they were technically not legal. Big difference, in my opinion. I know that's a controversial take, but that's not really the issue there. Okay? The issue is not that they were barely legal teens, which is what it is. It's horrendous. It's awful. It's pedophilia. Okay, relax. No, the issue is that Epstein is a Jewish spy probably working with Israel. That's the dilemma there. He's working with Israeli intelligence.
I mean, yes, that is also a dilemma, but I'd say the pedophilia is kind of a big thing. Now, let's analyze what we just said there. He's like, oh, it's not really. He's literally, I don't really see any way other than take this than he's playing the pederast game. That like, well, it's not pedophilia, it's pederasty. Like, we're not talking about prepubescent. They've already gone through puberty. Like, I guess you could kind of couch it in, like, barely legal, which, to be fair, to some degree, that was the case. We were talking 16, 17, 18. But also, keep in mind the clientele that we are talking about. Even if we were to say that, like, let's say they knew that this clientele liked him young, but they were super, it was a huge deal to them to really be like, we cannot be flouting the law because we've got law enforcement in this country that'll actually do something, and this will be really bad if we don't follow the law. And they made sure to ID every girl, and like it was 18 years old, and they kicked him out after 6 months of employment because they're going to age out. Let's say they're 18. Even that aside, let's say it was completely legal. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. I mean, maybe this is a symptom of actually me being a father, me actually being salt of the earth, not this. I mean, Nick is who he is, and but it's like doesn't have kids, younger guy. Like I'm sorry, I'm appalled by this fucking take. Like it is. Like I get it, he's in his late 20s, and to some degree, I guess if you're like a young man and you're like early 20s, you're gonna have just due to like where you're seated at an age and stuff, you might have a slightly different perspective when it comes to 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. But like, I don't know, as a 34-year-old man with 2 daughters and both teenagers, no. I'm sorry when I'm being told that like a 70-year-old that like maybe at best is like, oh, I thought she was 18, like, what? No, like, it'd be one thing if you were like, we were talking about like, I don't know, somehow they were just perfectly casting, like they're like 17 and like, but yet they were somehow, they all look like crazy. They looked like, I don't know, they looked like grown ass woman. That'd be one thing, but that's not even the case. If you dig into this at all, you're like, no, they're all these like waifs, these like model waifs, so they look like fucking children. So, like, I'm sorry. I'm not just going to go, yeah, it's kind of pretty significant. Pretty fucking significant to me. Like, really fucking significant. And I think taking this, like, well, the takeaway is he's an Israeli spy. You're like, whoa. What that subtle little move there is like, yeah, that is a problem, but it's not the problem. This whole fucking thing is the problem. And I actually saw some people being like, oh, this is him hedging, this is him getting out in front of it when he like campaigns for Bannon or whatever here in the future. And you're like, what this is a couching of the narrative in order to prepare themselves to advocate whoever in the future. I mean, maybe I'm being a little cynical here, but like, the only way you get out of like this whole blob, this whole sinister blob is just fucked, is by yada 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 hand waving the pedophilia and like, oh well, that's just clearly some blackmail, and so like, yeah, Peter Thiel or whoever, they're okay, like, because we haven't, like, even though he's probably some sort of Israeli spy as well too, but you're like, just don't worry about the odd, weird degenerate connections. Just let's focus in on the espionage. You're like, no, let's not. I don't know. Be curious what you guys think, and I think this kind of gets to the main issue, where kind of a lot of his people have been fighting back, and I think a lot of people are upset about things in like things in like Minneapolis. And I think perhaps he's operating off the incorrect paradigm. This whole left, right, oh no, we're going to be upset at fucking brownies and fucking, fucking ignorant lesbians, because they're, and let's be real, some pretty hot libtards too. When meanwhile, we have Bill and Hillary Clinton refusing to testify in Jeffrey Epstein investigation for the House. And let's be real, nothing will probably happen to them. I mean, we'll see. I know Bannon got in a lot of legal trouble for this a while back, so maybe the Clintons, something will happen. But I think deep down inside, we all know nothing will happen. Meanwhile, they will murder a woman in fucking Minneapolis for resisting arrest. But these literal lizard people pedophiles will will just kind of skate on through like nothing. Not even be brought in for questioning. That's the world we live in. And I don't know, kind of looking at this as some silly left right wing nonsense is a little stupid in light of all this to me. All right, let's roll the chat and then we'll get into the last segment of the day. Here's Shadows of Cornfield. So if I thought stealing Greenland would end NATO, I'd go steal it myself. I know, right? Knife Safety says, no show respect for Charlie Kirk, me no like. Yes. Good morning. Hey, say what now? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, PJR. Good morning. Good morning. He's saying a boring influencer drama. Yeah, we'll get out of it. Sorry. Tired. It's easy stuff. I was going through some of it. Here you go. Tilla says, yo, I wish I was a paid protester. I do too, although I have my doubts into what degree things are paid or not. I mean, I definitely think that is a thing, but, I don't know. Seems, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised seeing the stuff I'm seeing if this is just mostly organic. So, aggressively agreeing, saying throwing $8 million at propaganda campaigns to convince absolutely no one. Someone says, I swear Jose is a stage name. It is. It is a stage name, Tilla. Here Here's Shadow. Says, haven't seen one ICE agent in my city. They could fill a fleet of C-130s with illegals if they so desired, and they don't. And that's the scary thing. Like, for example, where I'm at, there's probably a fuckload of illegals. Like, there's like a Mexican store down the road where I pick up milk and stuff all the time. And like, half the time the person in the front doesn't even speak English, and it's whatever. There are illegals all rampant in my side of town, and the stuff that we're about to go through the next segment, I still wouldn't want. This would be theoretically, like if you follow the logic of ICE, they should be fucking coming through where I'm at, and I would not want that. Like this is I know this is sort of stuff I would not want to see near me or my family. So this is I don't know. We're not civilized society shit. Let me see. Good morning, Q-Burmo. Good morning, good morning. See who else is in here. This is the same Nick we've been talking about for an hour, says Fire Pixie. Oh, I didn't even notice that. We went from one Nick to the other. I should have just done its Nick time. That would have been good. Dude, Sorter. They were all Nicks. It was Nick Shirley, Nick Sorter, and Nick Fuentes. Man, I think we may have uncovered some sort of weird conspiracy of Nicks. I'm noticing the chat picked that up. I did not. That is, I did not do that intentionally. Aggressively Green says twinks pretend to be tough while relying on servicemen to do their bidding is gayer than Chase Oliver. Yeah, it's very gay. Good morning, Ray and Cap. Good morning. Good morning. What else we got in here? Good morning, Rise to Liberty. Jacob, thanks for taking over for me last night on Already Dead. Telling you all to hit the like button. Yeah, Mustache pointing out that Fuentes is giving the Dershowitz argument. Like, well, they was like 16, 17. Like, they didn't, I don't know. They said they were 18. I was wearing a towel when she rubbed me down. My wife was there. Oh, well, I know. Well, yeah. Yeah. Good morning, Doug Go. 16 and 17 is not legal, but in certain states. Yep, you are correct. Unfortunately, it is in some places. What else we got in here? She seemed Gilbert says, no, I don't care if they're 25 or 30. If dude is 70 plus, that's weird, and now I'll be keeping an eye on that old creep. Yeah, you're exactly. Especially when they look like children. Whether like you could so if you're like, oh, she was 16, but she's barely legal, you're like, okay, but like he was 70, so fuck off. Aggressively agreeing says, to be fair, peer deal also murders degenerates. Yeah, after fucking them for years on end and housing them. You're obviously referring to as a ex-boyfriend. Yes, he's a weird fellow, that's for sure. See, Jug the Goat said, I'd rather have illegals around than pedos. Yeah, me too. I genuinely don't have a problem with them being around. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get there's supposed to be some sort of perceived whatever, but all right, let's get into the first topic of the day, or not the first topic. I'm retarded. I'm still kind of tired. Let's get into ICE's domestic terrorism. Let's cover a little bit before we get into all the videos. I do have a couple articles I want to go through with you guys, and then we'll kind of finish out the show watching videos together. But I want to kind of cover some of the fallout, especially from like a legal type perspective. Apparently, top DOJ officials quit after the division refused to probe Minnesota ICE shooting. So looks like the DOJ refusing to dig into it, and we're having people quit as a result. So at least 6 leaders of a Justice Department unit that investigates police killings have resigned in protest over the administration's handling of the fatal shooting of a motorist in Minneapolis by an immigration and customs enforcement officer, according to 3 people briefed on the departures. Top leaders of the criminal section of the Civil Rights Division have left their jobs to register their frustration with the department after the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, decided not to investigate the ICE officer's fatal shooting of Renee Good last week. The criminal section of the division would normally investigate any fatal shooting of a law enforcement officer and specializes in probing potential or alleged abuse of or improper use of force by law enforcement. So they're, just to recap, they're refusing to actually look into it, is what they're currently doing. The departures, including that of the chief and of the section, as well as the principal, deputy chief, and acting deputy chief. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. So like basically everyone in that section represent the most, or everyone in leadership, it seems like, represents the most significant mass resignation at the Justice Department since February. At that time, 5 leaders and supervisors of the department's public integrity section, which investigates public officials for possible corruption, resigned rather than comply with an appointee of Donald Trump's orders to dismiss the bribery case against then New York Mayor Eric Adams. So yes, we have all these people, leaving. Seems like the majority of the leadership of that unit leaving. And at the same time, we got power to the people. They're doxing a fuckload of them, which, hey, I don't think it should be illegal. But hey, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about, right? Isn't that what they say? Department of Homeland Security. I swear every day when I cover something like this, I'm daring to be doxxed, which once again, I know where I live too. And I would not recommend coming to hang out if I did not invite you. Just saying. But, whatever. If anyone does ever post my address, I go, yeah, that's right. That is where I live. So whatever. Department of Homeland Security whistleblowers released identities of about 4,500 ICE and Border Patrol employees Tuesday, what's been called potentially the largest agency data breach for the department. So the killing of 37-year-old mother Renee Good by ICE agent last week has prompted the leak of personnel data to the ICE list, an online database created to promote accountability by the masked federal agents, according to a report from the Daily Beast. The onslaught of national outrage reportedly led to the major leak. So, yeah, we got a ton of this stuff. We got all these names out there now. So we had the majority of the leadership, left in protest, and then we have a whistleblower dropping almost 5,000, the identities of 5,000. Now, I don't think it's a true dox. I doubt they probably included their address and stuff, but so I'm completely on board with it. Maybe if they included addresses, it might be like, all right, you went a little far there, but releasing the identities, like, well, hey, like, you guys are, you would think they should have to show their identities. Like, if you're a cop out there interacting with the world, if you're, your face should be out there. You'd think you'd have your name. You're supposed to be able to ask for a badge number, whatever the stupid, I know my rights nonsense is. But that makes sense. That way, you aren't just some fucking masked thug that you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Because otherwise, I have camo pants. I still got some old fucking military fatigue somewhere. I can throw on a fucking flak jacket and a fucking balaclava and a fucking flak helmet. I think I have a flak helmet somewhere and just fucking, march down the street with my AR-15 and fucking and no one would know the fucking difference. That's why. That's why they're supposed to be pretty public facing about this sort of stuff. But I don't think it bodes well for what's going on behind the scenes there. But speaking of which, let's look a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes there. We got a little bit of reporting from Ken Klippenstein. And then I think we have one more story, and then we'll get into the videos for those looking forward to that. We got immigration agents terrified of ICE backlash over shooting. It's from Ken Klippenstein. In the wake of ICE officers' killings of Renee Good, the Department of Homeland Security is rolling out Operation Metro Surge, flooding Minneapolis with hundreds of additional federal agents, only to realize it doesn't actually have the confidence to match the bravado. While Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, and others in the administration preen about justifying last week's shooting and trumpet their war on domestic terrorism, DHS is privately divided and hesitant about the latest deployments. According to documents leaked to me, not only is the department seeking volunteers for the apparently unpopular mission, it is urging its agents to maintain a low profile and comply with the use of force policies. On Friday, DHS sought volunteers to deploy to Minneapolis in part due to opposition within the ranks, according to Border Patrol agents and other Homeland Security workers who have reached out to me. By the way, for the audio people that aren't seeing this, there is included here. You can go over to kenklippenstein.com. You can find this piece. But it's showing these leaked memos throughout, so that's where he's sourcing this information from. Please begin canvassing your personnel for volunteers, a memo sent by the Border Patrol's Acting Assistant Chief Joshua Andrew Post on Friday. The memo outlines requests for 300 additional personnel, 200 Border Patrol agents, and 100 processing coordinators to be funneled into Operation Metro Surge by Sunday, January 11th. A Border Patrol agent familiar with the discussion said the volunteer push reflects real unease in the ranks about the Good shooting in Minneapolis and the related surge. We do have personnel, but some just don't want to go, the agent told me. Asked about the hunt for volunteers, DHS and Customs and Border Protection did not respond to my request for comment. Now, for those who do like to look for words to like make you go schizo, I have been kicking around for a while how weird it is that. I mean, I guess obviously it's just completely coincidence that this lady's name was Good, and so now you have here the Good shooting, and like so you'd say everyone. Let's be real. Like if you're someone positive, like if you're pro ICE or pro whatever, you're gonna be like, oh, it was a good shooting. So maybe I'm being a little too schizophrenic, but I just thought that was interesting for those who look for little tells in the Matrix or whatever. We do have personnel. Okay, anyways, there might be some immature knuckleheads who think they are out here. They are trying to capture Nicolas Maduro, but most feel officers see a clear need for de-escalation. A high level career official at Homeland Security headquarters in Washington also told me. There is genuine fear that indeed ICE's heavy-handedness and the rhetoric from Washington is more creating a condition where the officers' lives are in danger rather than the other way around. Within hours of the shooting, Nome held a press conference, declaring Renee Good had carried out an act of domestic terrorism when she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over, as Nome put it. There is a video, and she just lied, the Border Patrol agent said of Nome's characterization of the incident. The senior DHS official adds that an increasing number of Homeland Security workers are concerned about the public backlash. The claim is that recruiting is up. There's also dread that the gung-ho types that ICE and the Border Patrol are bringing in have a propensity toward confrontation and even violence. Today, Border Patrol Tactical Commander Greg Bavino circulated a legal refresher. By the way, he's the guy that everyone keeps showing around in that like fly ass. Well, I will admit, the aura is fucking hard. It goes hard. Like he's wearing like a Nazi like trench jacket type thing, like which I mean obviously he probably wouldn't say it was Nazi, but like let's be real, everyone's like this looks like some straight Hugo Boss shit, and you're like because it does, it looks like it, and I'll admit it looks pretty fucking dope. But at the same time, you see this, we might see him in some of these videos. I don't know. I've seen him in other ones. I've seen him like also in some interviews, and he's like. It's funny how it's this tough guy attitude, but he's kind of a little bit of a. You can kind of tell it's clearly born of insecurity. Like I think he's probably like my height. Like let's be real. I don't think he's a tall guy. He's kind of like he's got a little bit of a speech impediment, kind of like I do. But like he's clearly a scrawny little feller. Like I don't know. He just kind of seems like a little bit of a. I don't know. What's it called? Napoleon complex, perhaps, but I don't know. Whatever. I don't feel too bad about psychoanalyzing him, I guess. Let's keep going. Today, he circulated I think this is yesterday, a legal refresher for agents in the field, including on the use of force, not a move that screams certainty about their conduct. And the department has sent memos to volunteers for Minneapolis warning about their operational security, covering everything from removing any signs of law enforcement affiliation when they are around their hotels to turning off location settings on their phones so that they can't be tracked. The guidance also reminds agents that things like profanity, insults, and rude gestures directed to them are not illegal, though incitement is. It goes. It sounds like they're entering a war zone, says senior intelligence official who has been deployed or involved in discussions about calming the waters around ICE deployments. Telling a bunch of 20-somethings to be prepared for war and terrorism creates the very condition officials are cautioning about. The Border Patrol agent that said that while a significant minority of his colleagues agree with him, they are not comfortable speaking out given the political climate. The agents also warned that the voluntary deployments, despite being symptomatic of splits within the agency, could further inflame the situation in Minneapolis. Key word is it's on a voluntary basis, the Border Patrol said. If no experienced senior agents step up, they send the new guys straight out of the academy. Not a good idea. He continued, in a nutshell, it's an us versus them on steroids, and I think some Border Patrol agents are more willing to use force and not feel restrained when you got DHS leadership lying to cover for them. For example, Kristi Noem lying her ass off on what happened is like saying to the federal agents on the ground, go ahead and do whatever you have to do. We got your back. We will find a way to justify it. And they're also saying not protected, too. I thought that was interesting. Fighting words, which I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, fighting words? What is a fighting word? Like, so I still, that's always been the dumbest thing to me. Be like, oh, those are fighting words. There's no such, other than like a legitimate, like actual threat, like, like I'm going to hunt you down and, hurt the ones you love and yada yada. Like, okay, that's different. But if you're talking about, I don't know what fighting words are other than that. If someone's like, your wife's a whore, like I don't think like, yeah, that was rude, but that doesn't necessarily justify violence. I know a lot of people might disagree with me, but I actually think it's a stupid way to live otherwise. Anyways, let's move on to the next thing. Speaking of fighting words, apparently they got one of our own. I think I talked about this a little bit the other day, but I want to dig a little bit more into it. No, please tell me this isn't paywalled. Oh, cool, it's not. But they got one of our own, James_Conkin on Twitter. They got one of our guys, one of our people. Now, I wasn't mutuals with them or anything. I don't really have really much of a recollection of him or impression. I could kind of guess, but I never really saw him online. But I know he was mutuals with a lot of people that I'm mutuals with, and but someone in the. And I think once we read this, and if you really extrapolate this story, it's quite concerning, especially when you see them and the other one saying, "Oh, fighting words." Well, what are we? That seems pretty ambiguous. I'd like a legit definition of this, especially because we're in the realm of locking people up for Fed posts, is what it looks like. So we have here at Forbes, ICE finds violent threats against agents in students' deleted tweets, DOJ says. So these are tweets that were deleted too. I guess he's like, oh, these were too Fed posty, and still got them. So let's go through this. But now I will say I already read through this once, and I've heard little bits here and there. Everything I'm seeing, I might be like, oh, that was a bit much. It was a bit Fed posty, but it was just that, Fed posty. So it's not legitimate, actionable, threats or anything like that. More just goofing or whatever. So this is pretty concerning, considering I know a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people, particularly like that I would consider generally in the realm of intellectually or philosophically akin to me, that are kind of being like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have done that. It's like that same. It's kind of the same thing in a sense of the Renee Good thing of like, you shouldn't have done that. And like, yeah, we can all argue about whether it was prudent or whatever. I mean, sure. But I mean, it comes off a little bit even more ridiculous with this case when you're like, oh, is it prudent? When it's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just guilty here. Maybe I've gone way too hard on the internet. But like, if the feds wanted to go dig through my fucking internet past, especially for Fed posty type things, especially if you're misinterpreting them, if you're only showing excerpts and this and that, yeah, you could very easily kind of paint a picture. I've said some pretty crazy stuff. Some of it jokes, some of it straight up not. Some of it like legitimate stuff that I would even now be like, yeah, I believe that. But outside of context, or whatever, just kind of thrown up in quotes, it may look, kind of wild. But yeah, kind of wild that's where we're at. But I guess I can, enough hemming and hawing. In June this year, ICE's intelligence team discovered posts on X that called for violence against the immigration agency's employees. ICE officers doing their job should get shot in the head, read one. The only good ICE agent is a dead ICE agent, read another. Which, now, I know a lot of people might go, oh my God, switch those letters out for ATF and tell me were you anyone who was ever associated with any sort of boogaloo posting or anything like that? Because I guarantee you've said something exactly like this. Because I probably have. I've probably said that. So doing their job, what does it mean when you say doing their job? Like, obviously, a lot of us have read, libertarian or anarchist literature, and so know what they mean when they say that. Like, when he's putting in quote, doing their job, he means aggressing against private citizens. So, yeah, I mean, this is some straight up 1776 mentality stuff. And the only good ICE agent is a dead one. People have said that about cops many times. Now, is that an act? Is that you saying you're going to do it? Could you say maybe that's not classy? Sure, whatever. And it goes, in October, an ICE warrant for the user's X data included not only active posts, but also deleted posts. Among the deleted X posts was an apparent offer to buy a beer for anyone who killed an ICE agent. Another post that read, anyone who tries to arrest and deport an illegal immigrant should be shot. Now, I will say, I saw somewhere else, I saw a larger excerpt of that with the buying a beer thing or whatever, and it's not, this is totally the way it's characterized here is different from the way you see it in the thing. So it's, and even then though, let's be real. You should read that and immediately knee-jerk be like, there's no way he was seriously putting out a hit for ICE agents and the price he was saying was a literal beer. That's obviously there was some sort of joke or something. I forget the specific context of that one, but it's as you would guess, it's not as simple as he's literally putting hits out on ICE agents. And he says, anyone who tries to arrest and deport an illegal immigrant should be shot. You may disagree with that, but if you are someone of the mindset that, a peaceful person is going out existing in the world and a cop is coming out, now, you may disagree with that as well, but the idea is that they're supposed to be allowed to say it. The Muskogee, Oklahoma-based man behind the post, 22-year-old James Eaton, was charged in November with solicitation to commit a crime of violence in interstate communications with a threat to injure a law enforcement agent. Eaton, a mechanical engineering student at Tulsa Community College, is yet to issue a plea. Earlier this month, an attempt to revoke a detention order, his family, friends, coworkers, church leaders, and teachers advocated to the judge for his peacefulness and work ethic. Eaton's one of a number of cases in which someone had been federally charged with a crime for supporting and encouraging violence against ICE agents amid the Trump administration's deportation mission. Even deleted posts could get people in trouble. In the case, X turned over 10 posts discussing violence against ICE that had previously been deleted as evidence in the case. So deleted posts as well. That indicates X is retaining posts for months after deletion. The first ICE preservation request, where Musk Company was asked to ensure records from the account were not permanently erased, was on July 3rd, followed by another in August. The oldest deleted tweet obtained the warrant was from April 15th, over 2.5 months before that first preservation request. X does not have a policy on how long it maintains posts after a user is asked that they be deleted. Meta, by comparison, is slightly more clear in its privacy policy, saying it may take up to 180 days for the company to completely remove a post from its servers and backups. One important takeaway here is to realize clearly ICE is just working right along with the United States government. They're not really giving any sort of pushback whatsoever, so not that anyone would really expect them to. Neither ICE nor X have commented on this. Among the other data provided to ICE were messages from multiple group chats, of which the defendant was allegedly a member. In one chat, the warrant says an unknown individual provided the birthday and address of Daniel Pantaleo, the NYPD officer who killed Eric Garner in New York in July 2014 and was not prosecuted. Okay, cool. He doxed some fucking he doxed a fucking popo. I don't give a shit. It's also not that's perfectly legal. It's perfectly legal to dox people. You may frown on it. You may not like it. This was in a group chat too, so I don't really know what the point of was in the group chat. I think they're trying to get you to think that this is ooh, we're gonna get him, which what they're about to show right here directly shows the opposite of that. It says the suspect was also seen in a private chat with another user. So an other user in this chat who wrote that the only thing that will solve this is Trump being dead. Only thing I can do is plot a manifesto. Then we get fuckhead Vance per the warrant. Now, actually, you know what? I've seen other places. So the funny thing is, I think he actually, I don't know if they're going to show this in here, but he actually says to the opposite of here, because this is another person in the chat, and I believe, or maybe it's the longer version of this quote. Maybe even the person who said it, that or Eaton said otherwise, because the larger context of that quote is also either someone responds or the larger context of that is but that wouldn't even work because then we get fuckhead Vance. So actually, yeah, I think that is the case. I'm retarded. I think the longer quote, you can even see that the ... then we get fuckhead Vance. So they're leaving out important context even in this Forbes article. That is that actual quote. The longer version of that quote is literally the person saying, literally waxing or kind of going on about how even violence wouldn't solve this. So, because the only thing that would solve this is Trump being dead, and then he goes, that only thing, and then they even put ... so that means leaving out context in this quote. There's something missing from this quote, and then they go, only thing I can do is plot a manifesto, ... meaning an other thing has been broken up, then we get fuckhead Vance. So there's a lot of context, I believe, that's missing between those three statements that are strung together as if they're the same quote. And from my recollection, we're going to have Ace on tonight, and he knows a lot about this, so maybe he'll remember or have the larger quotes on hand so we can see how they're clearly dishonestly framing this situation. So, because the larger quote of that, I'm almost certain, is something along the lines of literally talking about kind of entertaining the idea of political violence and then almost immediately being yes, but the reason why that wouldn't work is because literally you have Vance sitting in the wings and yada, 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 which if you're someone who's at any sort of time in the, online discourse world, particularly X or whatever, I almost guarantee you've had conversations like this. I know I've had there's no way I haven't been in group chats where people are talking about like, hey, what do we do to solve the problem? And every now and then there's the one knucklehead that's like, oh, political violence, yada, yada, yada. And like, okay, and a lot of people might be like, well, that guy's clearly a Fed. There's also a lot of dumb people out there. I mean, there's also people who do just think like, hey, we need some sort of, you need some sort of boogaloo. You need to overthrow this government. I mean, that is kind of the founding myth of the United States. So it's not that crazy that some people have this concoction in their head. Now, I disagree with it. So I've come to the opinion that like, hey, this sort of political violence, I can make a moral case in many cases for political violence, but I think generally speaking, it may be moral in many cases depending on the context, but generally speaking, it is imprudent. So I've had this conversation many times with many people. So like, this is something I easily could get, oh, wow, look, here's Jose. Here's this other user who said this, this, and this, leaving out the fact that then I am the one talking them off the ledge and going, yeah, that's retarded, yada, yada, yada. So just kind of seeing what they're working with here. Eaton's case has also highlighted potential defense for those who find themselves in hot water over posts over ICE. Per court documents obtained by Forbes, his lawyers argued the defendant's violent rhetoric was a symptom of how Trump has polarized political discourse. They said his threats were similar to threat statements made by Trump or other parties as part of the current political climate of today's society, according to a filing by prosecutors who are trying to prevent the defense from making that argument at trial. Schools across the oh, never mind. What the fuck? That's some other article that just popped in there for some reason. So, yep, that's what's going on. They got one of our own. And if you don't think they'll come after you, then you are one fucking silly goose. Everyone here's, by the way, this is a thing going on right now. I meant to jump into it, but I keep forgetting to. But for those on Twitter, we're doing a social movement. I am James Conkin. So maybe fuck it. I'll do it right now. I'll do it later because I don't know. Maybe one of my attach a nice photo or something. But all right, guys, let's get into some video. Let's watch some of these crazy ICE videos, some of the wild shit they're doing. Let's pop in the chat real quick. Actually, let's see what you guys check in with you guys before we do a little bit of video stuff. Let's check in on y'all. See, Ray and Cap. I don't even know Clintons were subpoenaed to testify to Congress. All I heard was this ICE thingy. Exactly. Someone Tilla says, wait, his real name is Klippenstein. Yeah, I know, right? Early check not required. Jeff says, Jose, I asked you if you thought Nick Shirley was a Fed about 6 months ago. At that time, you had never heard of him. Ooh, well, that's a good catch on your part. You've got a fucking golden eye, a fucking eagle eye out there. Yes. Is Anna Banana? What's up? Just scrolling through my notifications. Didn't realize I was subscribed. This pathetic fool. That's been remedied. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice, Anna Banana. Bye. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Bug Fights. I wonder what I didn't make her mad. I know she used to follow my OKC stuff. I don't know. By the way, no, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. There's always new crazy Richard Booth stuff to talk about. But yeah, I'm gonna ignore that. What else we got? All right, let's get into the videos. All right, let's watch this one. Let me make sure the audio's up. Yep, we got audio. All right, let's check in on this one. Let's watch this video. Apparently, according to the caption, this is a kid being detained, saying that he's a citizen. I guess it's a teenager. So some teenager asking if he can go inside to show who he is, to go get his ID. Apparently refused. So that's what the caption is telling us. Let's see if we can make heads or tails of this ourselves. Let's go and watch it. I will admit he does look Mexican, but now to be fair, that's a whole other thing on its own. Is they are apparently literally just doing this based on what they look like, which I guess probably a pretty good indicator. But I don't know, kind of wild. Oh my god, every time I hear a whistle, I get slightly more authoritarian. All right, now there's nothing there that maybe we'll wait for more, but yeah. All right, actually, here we go. Here's someone saying, I guess DHS just publicly admitted that what many have been warning about, they're detaining people for a status review. So read that again. That means DHS is arresting human beings before verifying who they are, before confirming citizenship or legal status, and before establishing probable cause, then locking them in detention facilities while they figure it out. This is not law enforcement. This is not due process. That is government-sanctioned human trafficking. So they're being seized, transported, confined by a state without identity verification. Like, I don't know what the proper, process would be, because, I guess if you aren't illegal, the issue is that you probably wouldn't have ID. But especially with some of these allusions to them picking up kids, I'm very much like, yo, what the fuck is going on? If they're just, picking up what could be children, you'd think there's got to be some sort of process. Now, I guess I don't want to go too hard in this one, because we're just taking the word of Jesus freaking Congress, whatever this account is here. But we just by the video, we don't know. Clearly the guy was trying to motion like he wanted to go back in the house, perhaps to get some sort of ID, and instead he gets forced into the van. Which, let's be real. If he went into the house, and it's he could probably just close the door. I don't know. I can sympathize. We're missing some stuff here, I think, is what it seems like. Then here's another one. Let's see about this one. Let's see what we think about this one. The last one was kind of whatever. Now here is, which obviously leaves something to be for concern, but we might be missing something from there. If I'm trying to come to the aid of the cops here, because that's totally something I do a lot. Now let's check out this other one. Let me see, the audio's out again. Give me a moment. Let me bring that up. Here's another one. Here's a lady getting yanked out of her car. According to the caption here, they're saying she's saying she has a doctor's appointment to go to, and then they still decide to beat the shit out of her. So let's watch this one. Okay, now first off, okay, no, I don't think this is what. I don't. I hate this. I hate what I'm doing right now. It's almost like I'm reflexively trying to find excuses for the cops. I hate this, but she said he's being told to move, told to move. She's yelling. So I'm like, what the? She's saying she has a doctor's appointment to get to. So we're missing some. Whatever. Let's keep going. Oh, I promise I have some other ones where they're actually being thugs. I did a grab bag, grabbed a bunch of these. I figured, hey, whatever. Who knows? Maybe we'll come out of this and be like, hey, maybe they aren't being so bad. But there's fucking 8 of them right here. This just seems stupid. But all right, let's keep going. Oh, okay. Now I'm picking up some content. Okay, they're saying she's trying to get her appointment. I think she's trying to go where they are. So I'm assuming they're blocking off some road, which I guess, to be fair, you can really sit there and argue with them. But all right, let's keep going.
Hey, back the fuck up!
Because she wants to get through that area at least. So we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Who knows? Maybe she's just being an annoying protester trying to bug them. But let's keep going. She's being told to go. I get being annoyed, being like, what the fuck, you blocked off my route, but you're not going to win this fight. What the fuck? And then he comes in there and busts out her side window. Okay, whatever. I don't know. Feels a little retarded to bust out her side window when you. But I don't know. What do I know? Maybe it's smarter to come off from the other side. But that feels like that would. You'd think you could just grab her from the driver's side or something. But whatever. Let's keep going. Well, I don't think I ever heard anyone say you're like, hey, you're being detained. You're anything. Which I don't know. Is any law enforcement or prior law enforcement in there? I mean, I feel like that'd be significant because it is confusing. Like, what is going on? You can only imagine if you're the person. I mean, don't get me wrong. She very clearly put herself in the situation, but like you would think it would go like, okay, you're being put under arrest or something. I'm not hearing any of this, but yeah, I don't feel as bad about this one. I gotta be real.
Police before I'm disabled, so I can put a doctor up there. That's why
All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm assuming there's something more going on here. I mean, if to give her the benefit of the doubt, she's trying to go over there, but I mean, it is annoying. All right, here's another video. Here is them. Apparently, they're saying they're going door to door, which I mean, just like them moving around like this, just weird. I mean, once again, any law enforcement people in the chat, sound off. I mean, this is not. I mean, the way they're acting, you'd think they're like getting ready to like bust down cartels' homes, like for every fucking one. I mean, I don't know. How many people do they usually roll deep to, like, you'd think this could just be like a someone knocking on the door thing. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems unnecessary because I'd be like, what the fuck if someone was like going to my neighbors doing this? Like, but yeah. Looks like she got some sort of paperwork. They're saying in the caption, they're raiding homes door to door without warrants. I'd like to get a little closer look at that thing. Like, what even is that they're giving them? Because this does seem weird just to be busting these houses like this, especially with some of the rhetoric we've been hearing about them having, absolute immunity or whatever, and seeming to have no real, I don't know, what's the word, guardrails for their behavior. I mean, it just seems like the dumbest way to go about doing stuff, and you'd think you'd need jerk to be like, what the fuck? All right, here's another one. Here's one I've seen, once again, this is going to be people being obnoxious, and then you're not too incredibly surprised after the fact, but this one's a little bit more egregious in the fact that apparently this was a 17-year-old. They ended up, what we're about to see, I believe, is the initial interaction. I mean, maybe we'll see after the fact too, but the kid then gets picked up, gets detained, essentially black bagged. I guess they question him and they are able to get his ID, and then they drop him off somewhere like 10 minutes away, all bloodied and fucked up. So I don't know. It just seems I'd be pretty upset if that was my 17-year-old. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be upset at my 17-year-old for why the fuck are you even doing this? But yeah. All right, let's watch this. I guess we're not going to see the interaction that preceded it. I'm pretty sure he was videoing and backing up, so I don't believe he ever touched him. I guess we're not going to see the initial interaction here. A lot of people... Now, this one did get... if you may see the initial interaction. People try to say that the kid swung at him, but even when he did swing at him, it was pretty clear the cop was like about to like fucking tackle him. And I don't think he even really swung at him. It was just that his hand was just the way like he was moving or whatever. He was actually kind of frantically backing up. I think it just looked like his arm moved that way. But I mean, whatever. It seems a little ridiculous to assume he was being swung on. But let's see. Let's watch this. You can see the cop walking in here. He gets abducted in that little that walk-in area. It's like a Target.
guys are all on video.
On target.
What's your name? What's your name?
Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm literally a U.S. citizen.
Give us a phone number.
U.S. citizen.
Get the fuck out of here, Ace.
Why are you kidnapping a citizen?
Get in there.
Why are you? Why? Sir, give us your phone number. We'll call your family. Give us your phone number.
At least his family. Wait, you want your family to know?
I literally have my passport. My fucking passport.
Let him get out his passport.
What's your name? What's your name? We'll find your family. Christian, what's your last name?
What? Hey! Get back there now!
Give us what's a phone number we should call?
All right, now this kid gets dropped off later. We didn't see the interaction that preceded it, but I mean, yeah, they were being obnoxious, but still, what the fuck? Now here's one that I did watch quite a bit, and I wanted to go through with you guys. This one's, I don't know exactly. There's obviously a lot of context we're missing here. This one, I really do not know how this is this is like crazy goon shit. Like, I mean, I don't, there's no way this is the law enforcement standard right here. This seems like we're intentionally trying to do it in the most goonish fucking way possible. Like, I really cannot. I mean, I don't know. I will say the clips that we got today, weren't the greatest. I just kind of grabbed back a bunch of them. There's other ones I've seen a little bit more, but even just the tone of all this is just kind of like, what the fuck? I know I would be very wigged out if this was going on in my community, so I can totally get where they're coming from. And now, bear in mind as well, it seems like it's almost like this is intentionally being done in left-wing areas, so they're probably even more sensitive to that intuition. And I really feel like if the same thing was happening around rightoids, a lot of them would be just as like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't want violence in my streets. I wanted you guys to get rid of some illegals, which I could somewhat sympathize with that. But let's watch this.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Hey! Back up!
Like, they may have, like, this one right here, like, the caption for the video is, did we just witness another killing? The way they handle this guy, he might be dead. After, like, that's the weird thing. Like, and I don't know, we saw a person in the car. Like, I don't really know also. I mean, this is like the second time I'm watching it through with you guys. I don't really know what he did to deserve being manhandled in such a crazy way. I don't know what preceded this. He's just sitting in a car, and a whole fucking squad of goons come up, start tapping his door, breaking his window, pulls him out. Doesn't look like he's fighting really at all right now, but let's keep watching. I guess to be the slightest bit fair to the cops, we can't really see what's happening in this car, but no, he just got his arm on the door. Like, I'm no cop, but it just looks like these people have no fucking idea what they're doing.
Back up! Back up!
Back up. One more. You go back there, and I'm going to put you under arrest. One more. You get back there one more time. Back up. Back up.
No, I didn't see. Okay, I wanted to watch this with you guys again because now I wanted to get a closer look at it, watch it on my desktop for one as opposed to my phone. Because, I mean, I haven't seen anything that was, like, overtly, like, I mean, obviously it got crazy manhandled. It seems like, I mean, obviously it does look like he was trying not to get out of the car, but I don't know. It just something about that seems weird. I mean, if anything, it seems like the amount of people made it harder and honestly made it more dangerous, but what do I know? You would think they teach some sort of restraining techniques, but let's keep going. Because it's the way he goes off and he kind of goes limp, but I didn't see anything that preceded that would really make him... But there's so many fucking people. Like, look, he's just completely dead here, like limp. Yeah, he's passed out. Like, it's not even like a little limp thing. Which I don't know. Maybe they didn't kill him. There was what a lot there people were saying in the thing. I mean, I didn't see anything there that looked like it would have killed him unless there was something restricting his breathing or something we didn't see. But either way, just I don't know. Seen a lot of these videos going around. I guess maybe if we look a little bit closer and we take the time like we did today, maybe you can find ways to bend over backwards for the cops and go, oh, okay, well that's. But I feel like in its totality, it's quite concerning. And I guess maybe to finish off, let's look at. Let me see. Should we go through this real quick? I don't know. I don't know if I care enough. I do have a piece for you guys about like some Slate, although Slate's kind of, let's be real, it's going to be some crazy, annoying left-wing slant, but it is a piece on the recruiting. I'm kind of interested in that. Yeah, let's read a little bit of it. If you guys go check it out the rest on your own if you want to. This is it's over at slate.com. It says, you've heard about how ICE is recruiting. The truth is far worse. I'm the proof. And there's some chick named Laura Jadid. So they're hiring women. What is wrong with them? Hiring women as a law enforcement officer? You guys are trying to be scary goons and you're hiring ladies? I mean, ladies are kind of terrifying. The plan was never to become an ICE agent. The plan when I went to the ICE Career Expo in Texas last August was to learn what it was like to apply to be an ICE agent. Who wouldn't be curious? The event promised on-the-spot hiring for would-be deportation officers. Walk in unemployed, walk out with a sweet $50,000 signing bonus. Okay, that's a pretty old sign. Whoa, you know what? I'm starting to feel. You know what? I'm changing my opinions on them illegals real quick. A retirement account and a license to brutalize the country's most vulnerable residents without consequence, all while wrapped in the warm grow approach. Is there really a $50K signing bonus? Jesus Christ. At first glance, my resume has enough to tantalize a recruiter for America's Just Stop and Waiting. I enlisted in the Army straight out of high school and deployed to Afghanistan twice with the 82nd Airborne Division. But it's a lady. After I got out, I spent a few years doing civilian analyst work with a carefully arranged skill-based resume, one which omitted my current occupation. I figured I could maybe get through an initial interview. The catch, however, is that there's only one Laura Jadid with an internet presence, and it takes about 5 seconds of Googling to figure out how I feel about ICE, the Trump administration, and the country's general right-wing project. My social media pops up immediately, usually with a preview of my latest post condemning Trump's unconstitutional authoritarian power grab. Scroll down, you'll find articles with titles like "What I Saw in LA wasn't insurrection, it was a police riot," and "Inside Mike Johnson's Ties to a Far-Right Movement to Gut the Constitution." Keep going for long enough, and you might even find my dossier on Antifa Watch, a right-wing website that lists alleged members of the supposed domestic terrorist organization. I am, to put it mildly, a less than ideal recruit. In short, I figured, at least back then, that my military background would be enough to get me in the door, and then even the most cursory background check would get me shown that same door with great haste. The ICE Expo, where my application journey began, required attendees to register for a time slot, presumably to prevent throngs of eager patriots from flooding the event and overwhelming the recruiters. But when I showed at 9 a.m., the flood was notably absent. There was no line to check in and no line to go through security. I walked down empty hallways, past a nearly empty drug testing station, and into the event proper, where a man directed me to a line to wait for an interview. I took my spot at the end. There were only 6 people ahead of me. While I waited, I looked around the stadium, enormous blacked-out event space optimized for video game tournaments that has a capacity of 2,500. During my visit, there couldn't have been more than 150 people there. Hopeful hires stood in tiny groups or found seats in the endless rows of cheap folding chairs that faced the stage ripped straight from Tron. Everything was bright blue and lit up in sci-fi future angular. Above the monolithic platform hung 3 large monitors. The side monitor displayed static propaganda posters that urged the viewer to defend the homeland and join ICE today, while the large central monitor played 2 short videos on loop, about 10 minutes of propaganda footage again and again and again. After about 15 minutes of waiting, an extraordinarily normal-looking middle-aged woman waved me forward. I sat across the black folding table from her one-on-one of the uncomfortable black chairs. She asked for my name and date of birth and whether I am over 40. I'm 38. Did I have law enforcement experience? No. Military experience? Yes. Did I retire from the military at 20 years or leave once my enlistment was up? The latter, I told her, then repeated my carefully rehearsed, completely true explanation for why the resume I had submitted had a large gap. I had a bit of a quarter-life crisis, ended up going to college for part of that time, and since then I've been kind of gig economy stuff. She was spectacularly uninterested. Okay, in what language and what location is your preference? After some dithering, I settled on New York. That was the last question. The entire process took less than 6 minutes. The woman took my resume and placed the form she'd been filling out on top. They are prioritizing current law enforcement first. They're going to adjudicate your resume, she told me. If my application passed muster, I'd receive an email about next steps, which could arrive in the next few hours, but would likely take a few days. I left, thanked her for her time, and prepared to hear back never. The Expo event was part of ICE's massive recruitment campaign for the foot soldiers it needs to execute the dream of a deportation campaign large enough to shift America's demographic balance back whiteward. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. I don't really care. That was just, I don't want to read that part. When Donald Trump took office, ICE numbered approximately 10,000. Despite this event's lackluster attendance, the recruitment push is reportedly going well. The agency reported 12,000 new recruits. That's almost doubling, actually it is doubling. It's over doubling, my bad. Which means the agency has more recruits than old hands. That's the kind of growth that changes the culture of an agency. So that is true. Many of ICE's critics worry that the agency is hoovering up pro-Trump thugs, yada yada, some left-wing bullshit. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's anything else here more than just kind of commentary from lefty stuff. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, let's there's more about her interview, but I think just the fact that you kind of see a little bit of it. Maybe we'll save this, save the rest of this. I'll read this on my own time, see if it's anything else interesting in here. But I gotta get out of here. But I do think there's a little bit interesting seeing how they're recruiting, kind of how much they're growing, and how they're just kind of taking anybody. And that is interesting that over half of the force has been created in the past year or so. So. Leaves a lot to be concerned, and then they unleash these guys on the fucking streets. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit more concerned about goons fucking creating violence in the streets than I am about the possible theoretical subversive nature of immigrants or whatever. I mean, they can both be problems, but you don't have to usher in a police state to spite your what is the fucking expression? Spite your nose, whatever the fuck. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, it's seems like a losing idea to me, but what do I know? Let's roll through the chat one last time, and then we'll get on out of here. Yeah, here's Jeff saying, I have no doubt some of these people are being executed in traffic. Yeah, if I had it didn't show up in my bookmarks when I was going through this morning because the bookmark thing makes no sense. It's all over the place. But I had bookmarked in the past. It's just disappeared. Wasn't able to find it this morning. But there was this one video of that a lot of you guys may have seen where they were walking in. First off, the ICE agent falls. They get out of the little vehicle, and there's another ICE agent inside the vehicle, and the guy falls comically on the ice, and he has a female detainee with him. And he escorts her into the porta potty and then goes in with her for a good while and comes back out. So it leaves a lot to the imagination. So, let me see. Good morning, clockwise. Good morning. Yeah, real or not, says aggressively green. You can't deny this is the definition of accelerationism. 70-1 ICE agent / illegal ratio is theater. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That just seems ridiculous. So Yeah, here you go. Shadows points out, once again, look at the neighborhoods. Old, rundown, no new buildings, no need for cheap labor. Here you go. Here's Jacob says, I mean, the immigrants were definitely brought here to cause chaos, and a lot of people genuinely hate us. I don't think a police state is a solution to that, but peace isn't exactly an option. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean by peace isn't an option, I guess. So, like, the idea, because I don't know if that's like, oh, we got to kick them out or whatever. I don't know what that means. So I guess it depends on what you mean by that. I don't know. Every situation is different, but yeah. Police state definitely not good. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Here's Clockwise saying the purpose does seem to be stoke political tensions, but everything they do is passively doing nothing about it is what I mean by peace. Yeah. Well, the way I see it is kind of a binary. You can choose to utilize the state to solve this problem, or you can have it's literally more or less state. It's really that simple of a binary. If you want more state, I mean, the incentives are pretty clear how they are going to address the problem. That's probably not going to be the way you want it to. Done really not well and way more expensive than what it's worth. So that's even to assume you actually think it's a legitimate problem to begin with. So that's what it comes down to. When you utilize the state, they're going to make the problem worse. So yeah, there's all sorts of things that you can be done. No one's saying do nothing. I mean, I guess people say, oh, you're saying don't vote. Like, I'm saying go live your life. I'm saying, starve the state to the best degree you can. Stop giving them your loosh. I think paradoxically, less of it will actually... I know everyone's like, oh, I actually think not empowering ICE, not doing this crazy deportation, whatever the fuck. Yeah. See, yeah, Jacob are here. Let's just abolish welfare. Let the people leave on their own. Bingo, 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 bongo, welfare, warfare, problem solved. The only immigration will be getting at that point is quality immigration. All right, guys, let's get out of here. I'll leave you guys on a fun little video. For those who want to support what I'm doing, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can find the show on YouTube, Rumble, all the major audio podcatchers, and Twitter as well. At Tower Gang Jose on Twitter. And if you want to support the show the best way you can do that with money at patreon.com/nowayjose2020. You got the QR code right there, up there in the top left-hand corner of the screen. There you get a whole access to different perks. I give you guys early episodes. I do about 1 to 2 paywalled episodes per week. Try to keep about 4 behind the paywall at any given time. I've actually been pretty bad about giving episodes to the non-paying people lately, so lucky for you patrons, I prioritize you. You also get access to ad-free RSS feed. You also get access to Telegram. You also get access to pre-show, post-show, and video calls. Austin's weekly live call-in show, Already Dead. And I give a big shout out at the end of every episode to my sponsors. It's the highest level of my Patreon. It's a big thank you for their support. My previous co-hosts on Tower Gang, at Learn Toad, also at Edbrigade D's, at ZLVRCK, at _InvitZeal, Tim Tell, at Jolly Kleeble, big fan of the show, Torn May, at Wayne Tackless, Want to Hear Carver Kids, No Free Lunch, Jack, Mark Vestibule, and Jacob Winograd of the Biblical Anarchy Podcast. With that, guys, I will see you all tomorrow, I think. I don't see any really reason why I wouldn't, so I should be here tomorrow. Tomorrow around 11, give or take. Tonight for the patrons, I will be having Ace on. We might get Joe to join us again. I'm not sure. We'll be kind of talking more about this ICE stuff, kind of more from a big brain type perspective. And yeah, tomorrow I have Jacob coming on. And I think I might try to squeeze in another paywalled episode in sometime when I have the moment. See ya, Johnny says thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye, Cubert. See ya, Tilla. Love you all. With that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy this outro. This is average conversation with ICE officer. I don't know what this is from, but I just thought it was pretty funny. I hope you guys enjoy it. Love you all. See ya. Bye-bye.
You guys just get out of here, okay? Just get out.
Oh,
I'm done.
Whoa.
Just get out.
Wait, what?
Just get out of Los Angeles, okay?
Just get out? Just get out of here?
Yeah, just get out.
When I saw you were bald, I thought I shouldn't be presumptuous.
I can't believe it took us this long.
I know.
Man.
You're a Nazi.
You're a Nazi, man.
Excuse me?
You just gave us a full-on Nazi.
No, I was not. No, I was saying get out.
What do you think the motion is? That's what Hitler was saying.
Is that what he was saying?
He was saying Jews, get out of Germany.
No, it's a Sig Heil.
Yeah, he was going Heil, and he went Lowell, too.
No, it's not like high up, high and low. No, it's
Look, I'm not even sure of the origins of Zig Heil.
You seem like you are.
No, I don't seem like I am. I was saying goodbye.
You've done it like 100
See you
times,
later.
man.
I'm trying to show you. I'm showing you. I'm showing here.
This country is very open to Nazis.
Okay, you know what?
You guys just get out.